You also said that he was a world traveler and had been on many of the continents.
I've been to 6.
Have you been on any of those continents with him? Besides this one?
Where's Belize? What continent is that? I'm not being funny. I don't know.
Let's say, with the
I've been
exception
to
of...
Belize with him. I've been to the Bahamas with him. I've been with Aruba with him. Don't embarrass me. I'm not sure what continents those are on. Whatever continents those are, that's where I've been. I'm sure if I gave it some thought, I would tell you. But whatever continents those are, that I've been to those locations, sir.
Look, I'm not saying you need to know geography in order to be the district attorney, but I am saying if you don't know basic geography, I think it's only reasonable that we question what are the basic things that you may or may not know, right? I think that's fair. I think that we can all agree that that's fair. And if you haven't been keeping up with what's actually happening in the Trump Georgia case, if you're like just many other modern day people and you get your news and current events from social media, you might not be getting actual facts, man. If you scroll through the leftist insanity on social media, you might actually think that Fani WIllis got up on the stand and saved her case and saved her career through her brave and defiant testimony. And I promise you that that is not the case.
Okay. So, but you were saying that you had amounts of cash. You still had that lien in 2022 when you were dating Wade and going on these trips. So the cash that you gave him, that could have been used to pay this tax lien off?
You gonna tell me how to pay my bills?
No.
I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So the only money you've ever given him outside of a contract is cash.
I didn't give him money in a contract, so that was cute, but I didn't give him money outside in a contract. What happened is, no, we're gonna answer it since you said it.
There are people on the left celebrating that. There are people who I believe actually watched it and just saw something completely and entirely different than reality, which really is a true testament to the power of propaganda and the power of our own confirmation bias, right? What they appear to have seen, at least if you listen to their words, is a strong, self-made woman who got up there and set the record straight. When in reality, if you take the word of every other witness that is not sleeping with her, you saw her perjure herself in court. The district attorney, you saw her perjure herself, allegedly. But most of the low information victims on the left, they have no idea what this story is even about. Some of them think that it has something to do with her boyfriend's divorce. Some of them think it has to do with her personal life. No. Just like the Clinton impeachment was not about a BJ, that came down to exactly what this is going to come down to, perjury. But if you're on the left, this might actually sound like a defense.
But I always have cash at the house. That has been, I don't know, all my life. If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house, and I don't keep cash as good in my purse like I used to. 'Cause I don't go on many dates, but when you go on a date, you should have cash in your pocket.
So my question was, where did that cash originally come from, if it didn't come out of the bank?
Cash is fungible. I've had cash for years in my house. So for me to tell you the source of when it comes from, when you go to Publix and you buy something, you get $50, you throw it in there. It's been my whole life. When I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that. Like, to tell you I just have cash in my house. I don't have as much today as I would normally have, but I'm building back up now. So you just put money in. It's a very good practice. I would advise it to all women.
So you can't identify when you came into this cash or where the cash came from?
I didn't say I couldn't identify it. No, nobody gives me anything. I am sure that the source of the money is always the work, sweat, and tears of me. What you asked me for is, when did the money go in there? What I am trying to tell you is, so I got divorced in 2005 from my husband. No. It's important. You said, where did the money come from? And I need to tell you where the money came from. And so for many years, I have kept money in my house. That money in my worst days has probably only been $500 or $1,000. At my best days, I probably had $15,000 in my house at cash. At all times, there's going to be cash in my house or wherever I'm laying my head.
The money that you paid Mr. Wade, the cash, in October of 2022, you do not know where that money came from?
I do know where it came from. It came from my sweat and tears.
Do you know which job it came from? Did it come from Fulton County or did it come from a private job?
It came from, what are you talking about? So it could have come from a private job because before I was DA, I was in private practice. So I earned money during that time period. That's probably in there.
You don't know
This reminds me of the fact that Kamala Harris claims that she was actually using marijuana at the same time that she was imprisoning black men in California for using marijuana. This bumbling, self-professed money launderer, which is essentially what she's talking about. This woman is responsible for the application of state law in Fulton County, Georgia, which is a humongous county. And that is terrifying. Anyone with two brain cells to rub together is going to see that and just be disgusted. They won't know what to think. But if you're a pre-programmed, information-deprived, get Trump leftist, you probably think that what she just put up was a defense. And you probably think that this that I'm going to show you is corroborating evidence.
When your daughter moved or left the house that she owned, did she say anything to you about having a large savings of cash?
Oh, no, see, maybe, excuse me, and Your Honor, I'm not trying to be racist, okay? But it's a black thing, okay? I was trained, and most black folks, they hide cash or they keep cash, and I trained, you always keep some cash. I've always kept cash, and I've told my daughter, you keep 6 months worth of cash.
Yeah, so obviously neither of those things are true, right? And I feel bad for her, man. Every time this woman opens her mouth in her own defense, she only looks and sounds more guilty. And just think about that for a second, right? The district attorney of Fulton County, Georgia, she wants so bad to get Donald Trump and turn herself into some sort of Democrat super legend or whatever her fantasy is, right? That she will say in open court that she keeps stacks of cash in her house that she can't explain, can't tell you where she got it. She'll give you attitude if you even ask. She did mention she might have got it from her campaign, which, by the way, is also not legal. But she'll assure you that all that cash came from her own blood, sweat, and tears. She says all that in open court. And I got to tell you, it takes a special kind of genius to make yourself look like a criminal to get away with crimes. Because here's the truth, man. If whatever money she claims to have had or still has in her home came from her hard work, then that cash at one point lived in her bank. And she should be able to prove it. And I think the judge should say, please prove it if you want to keep your job. Because remember, she says she does everything her dad taught her. And her dad just told you that he taught her to keep 6 months of cash. And you'd think that with her current lifestyle, that's got to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 grand. I mean, it's a sizable chunk, whatever it is, right? Why don't the judge just say, let's take a field trip. You got 30 grand in your house. I want to see it. But anyway, I don't want to get too far in the weeds on the cash thing. Because remember, the left has convinced themselves that a self-professed broke woman's story about secret cash that she can't explain to reimburse her secret lover for their secret travels is an actual defense. They believe that she just put up an actual defense of a crime that they also believe should never have been alleged and was only alleged because of racism or whatever they believe. While at the same time, they believe that Donald Trump paying cash that he actually can explain to a woman that, based on the laws of non-disclosure agreements, he should actually be able to keep secret is an actual crime. The same intellectually corrupt, victimized brains somehow find a way to fully believe both things. I don't even know how that's possible. But guys, if you have ever questioned whether or not we have a two-tiered justice system or how we've allowed that to happen, this is your answer in a nutshell. Everything you see here is your answer. But anyway, that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. And if you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.